Welcome to Mindless Entertainment. My name is Jesse Milestone. I am your God Empress, and I went to see Shang-Chi. I went to see it in theaters. We have a new theater. It used to be an ArcLight. It's now a Regal, so we went to check it out. We went to see Shang-Chi so I could see it. And now so I can talk to you guys about it. And the thing is, I didn't hate this movie. I know the title's gonna make it makes it sound like I did. I didn't hate this movie at all. I actually really quite liked it a lot, and it was only a few decisions away from being a very, very good movie. So, well, why does it actually suck though? I mean, if it's only a few good decisions away, like, well then shouldn't it just be like a kind of an okay movie? Yeah, but the mistakes that it makes are so fundamental that it detracts from the heights that this movie could ever possibly reach. And to exemplify this, I'm going to take you guys through the plot of this film. So there will be a lot of spoilers. If you haven't seen it, you don't want spoilers, go watch it before you watch this video. And I'm also going to draw a lot of parallels to The Matrix. You might go, well, that's not fair. Not every movie can be The Matrix. Well, that's true. And every movie is trying to be The Matrix, but many are. That's the thing. Most movies don't set out to be mediocre. Most movies try to be great. They're trying not necessarily to be The Matrix and revolutionize cinema. When The Matrix was made, I doubt they were sitting there going, oh my God, we're going to change movies forever. They're just making a movie that, with characters that made sense and a plot that built to a powerful conclusion. Everybody who seeks to make a movie is trying to do something like that. And the reason why I want to draw these parallels is because we're talking about a hero's journey for both Shang-Chi, who, another thing, I'm going to refer to him as Sean for most of this. The character, yes, his name is Shang-Chi, but he's referred to as Sean through most of the movie. So when I do refer to Sean, I am in fact referring to the titular character. However, because that's how he's referred to in the film, it's just easier, it's logical, it's what I'm naturally going to do. It makes more sense to call him Sean. So Sean and Thomas Anderson, Neo, share a lot of parallels, as do any character who are going through hero's journeys. But these two share some extra special ones in that they are both, the chosen one in their respective journey, right? Not every hero in a hero's journey is distinctly and pointedly chosen by their universe for some greater purpose. But in the cases of Neo and Sean, they both are. And also, part of this is their fighting style is very similar. You can see clearly in the production of this film, yes, obviously, they're trying to pay homage to certain elements of the kung fu genre. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon comes to mind with some of the hyper-realistic elements to the fighting, but there are undeniable Matrix parallels in the styles of fighting and the idea of this sort of a heightened reality universe that we live in. And like I said, so that's where a lot of those parallels are going to come in, right? It's not, I'm not trying to say that it's trying to be the Matrix or it has to be as good as, or it's not as good and that's why it's not good. Just calm your tits, that's why it is. Like I said, there's a lot to like about this movie. I think across the board, the performances were pretty solid. I think this is the first film that drops us into a post-Endgame world, in this post-we're back from the snap world, that just feels like they did after the first Avengers, where we got into a world, okay, everything's changed now that they're aliens, but here's your universe, live in it, as opposed to everything has to be focused on the post-snap universe, and we're back, and what's going on, and this and that. It's like, they're just living in it. Casual references to what it means, to how the world's changed in ways that are reminiscent of like a post-nuclear world. It changed. There's a hint of sort of existential nihilism at points, in reference to, oh, anything's possible at any moment, and that stuff's good. That makes the world rich. It makes it nice, like as a whole. And again, even though I'm about to tear this movie apart, as a whole, this is the first time I'm optimistic to see where Marvel's going with something. I'm excited to see this character come back, and Awkwafina too, in spite of the fact that I'm not pleased with some of the ways she's been running her mouth lately on screen. I think she delivered a really solid performance. I think she's very funny. She's got great comedic timing. You don't have to agree with me, but I've enjoyed the piss out of her performance. So there's that. Hey, Pancake, what did you think? Did you have something to say? You did not see the movie because cats don't go to movie theaters, but you're allowed to come and be part of the video if you really want to be. Yeah, you do. He's like, I'm just going to be here. I go, not dad whatsoever. Like Mom said, I've not seen Shang-Chi. So I'm really just here taking up space and wasting time. Thanks, you pancake. So where were we? So yeah, those things, good things. But And yeah, and he's not a bad guy to hang your hat on, as one of your big superheroes moving forwards in the franchise. He has a manliness, a masculinity that Tom Holland certainly severely lacks. He's very attractive. Might not be your type, but he's very attractive. Good body, definitely got in shape for the role. That stuff you want to see. Bulky, looks again like a man. He's not like scrawny or super petite or anything. He's not gigantic. He's not like humongous. But you know what? Neither was Robert Downey Jr. And he was perfectly tough and strong for the role. I'm not saying this guy's any Rodo Joe or anything like that, but he's a perfectly serviceable superhero. It brings out a pretty good performance. So, just want to put that out there. I'm not knocking the performance or anything like that. I don't want Simu to come send some personal attacks on Twitter or whatever he fucking does. Anyhoozle. Here's where we fall apart, though. Like I said, the parallels. There's too much fucking exposition. Movies need to learn the term in media res. They really need to learn the term in media res. In the middle of things. Just boom. How does this movie start? Fucking 5 minutes of exposition about what the 10 rings are, how this guy came to have them and conquer all this shit and blah, blah, blah. Which is then just sort of scratching your head on a lot of it because it's like, these are very big parts of history from what it seems, and just the rest of the world doesn't seem to know shit about it. It's like, whatever, the Jedi were forgotten about in a generation. Whoops. And so, okay, so there's that, and I'm already cringing when a movie starts like this because I'm already, okay, you've plopped me in with minutes of exposition. So I'm thinking, okay, you did it though, that's it. There's your hook. You gave me your introduction, and now you should drop me into the film, and it should just be going. And at first, I thought I was going to get that, because we drop in, there's some action pretty quickly. We just sort of get introduced to our characters, and there's some action. Although, really to say, the whole hook kind of does drag, though, because it's like, you got to get introduced to who he is, and then you have to get the whole 1994, where he goes and meets the woman, and then present day with, okay, well, we know this is your kid, but now it's just confusing. So it's like, your exposition should answer the questions, not create the questions. The questions should come from us being dropped into the middle of things. But now you just gave us a whole bunch of fucking exposition that instead of answering questions that we didn't have because we couldn't, because nothing came before it, we now have a bunch of questions that we're waiting to have answered, but you can't answer them because you need to give us more exposition because we haven't even started the fucking movie yet. So then here we go. Into the movie, and now, okay, here we are with our two characters, with Sean, who we know is Shang-Chi, although we don't find out why till later. So one thing, a question introduced right there that's not resolved till a decent amount of the time into the movie. This other character who's his best friend, we don't know why. We don't know how they became best friends, but they've been best friends for 10 years. It's fine. They work this dead-end valet job that they're both really into, and they love partying together. But aside from that, we don't know how she came to be. We know that Awkwafina's character, Katie, is unmotivated, even in spite of having an awesome degree from Berkeley or some shit. But we don't know why she's unmotivated. We don't know what's stopping her. We don't know what's got her in this dead-end place in her life. This becomes important later. Blah, blah, blah. So, just to TLDR the rest of the film, essentially. Like, here we come with spoilers. So, some guy attacks Sean, steals his pendant. He's got to go warn his sister because they're going to steal her pendant too. Once again, more questions than answers. What are these fucking pendants? Could they've explained this to us in the introduction, in the hook? No, we're just fucking lost here. So we've got to go, he's got to go warn his sister, but then they get caught and her pendant gets taken. And they get captured by their dad, so they end up back with their dad, who's using the pendant to try to find the dead mom, who he swears he hears. He swears she's being kept back in her magical home world, and she's being kept there, captive. And they're like, this doesn't seem good, so we should probably go warn these people because he's going to burn this village to the ground if she doesn't magically appear when we're there. So they happen to find the Mandarin, who's just this big fucking excuse, a big apology for the cultural appropriation from Iron Man 3, which weirdly enough, in spite of it being like really awkwardly, painfully obvious what they were doing, the inclusion of that character becomes like good comic relief, like the type of comic relief you want in a movie like this, so you don't have to hinge too much of your goofiness on your main characters. You can actually let them be serious in serious moments, and if you need a bit of levity, oh, here we go. Let's just cut away to the Mandarin and his weird butt-faced creature flappy thing being cute together. And it's fine, and it's honestly like, I was surprised from the moment that they showed me that he was going to be in this film. I thought it was going to be one-off too, but then he just stayed there as a character. I was surprised at how much I was fine with his presence. But anyway, I digress. So we have to go up to the magical realm to warn these people, who tell them the truth that, oh no, your father's being seduced by these evil monsters that we're going to... So I didn't tell you the part where we had to halt on the way to the sister to explain about his training and how after the mom died, and then we sort of go into the flashbacks to piece back the story about how when his mom died, his dad blamed the kid because he didn't protect them from the thugs that came, even though he blamed himself because it was from his past life. So he trained the kid to be an assassin so he could avenge the mom and sent him to kill the guy who did it and blah, blah, blah. And he didn't want to be this person, so he ran away to have a regular life. And that's why he's, hiding out in this dead-end valet fucking job or whatever. And then, more flashbacks to find out when we get to this magical realm that he's actually being seduced by this evil creature that we're just fucking now hearing about for the first time. That was apparently a really big important part of these people's history. And then it got locked away behind this magical gate where it's being kept. And it's not clear if the cities in this magical realm are all destroyed behind the gate too, or if there still are cities in this realm, and the lot was not clear anyway. And so of course dad guy shows up, and then Sean's got to fight him and using the magical powers of good training from dad and then the magic from mom's realm, and takes the rings and becomes the ringmaster and defeats the evil creature, which of course gets out because even though we're only teased at the beginning of the third act how terrifying and absolutely horrible this creature is and how terrible it will be if it got out, and we only have 10 fucking minutes to build to that. Oh my god, it got out, but it's okay because we'll just ride some dragons and put it right the fuck back down. We'll just kill it this time because we're super fucking powerful. The end. Everyone lives happily ever after. Wong shows up and takes them to, learn how to be superheroes. So that's basically a lot of the movie. The nice thing about this movie is how quickly I was able to go through that plot. That took 3 minutes or less. Now, if you've been through some of my other plot summaries, some of the Star Wars ones are fucking long because they don't make sense unless you're in here and here and this and that and that. Jesus Christ, it took 50 minutes just to describe The Last Jedi with minimal, or The Rise of Skywalker with minimal fucking commentary. This is the sign of a good movie. Well, trying to be a good movie that you're okay, plot and plot and plot and plot. You're already seeing where it falls apart because I'm I don't really know why we went here or did this. There are already things I can't justify. But the biggest problem, aside from these big halt 10 minutes of exposition, is the character development. Sean is such a passive character. All of his development, everything he learns, all of his growth happens before the movie. We see some of it in flashbacks, and we're lucky to get that. We're only told the most important moments in his development. Big spoilers, by the way. And this, by the way, good storytelling, good acting. This I'll give a nod to the actor. There's a moment early on when he talks about the story and how he was sent to assassinate somebody when he was 14 years old, and she asked if he did it, and he hesitates, and he's like, no. But the way he hesitates, it's I think he did it. And then he says no, and you're like, oh, he didn't, but I kind of feel like he did. And then you find out later, he's remember when I said I didn't do it? I lied. I did do it. And you're oh, that was nice. That was good acting moment. That was about the one good bit of character development that he hid that. But again, that was character development that happened before. We only don't have the information that this guy has killed somebody, not because he hasn't killed somebody yet, because he hasn't told us. He's already that guy. He's already the guy who assassinated somebody when he was 14 years old. He's already dealt with that. He's already lived with that. He's already grown with that. All of that stuff has already happened. The most interesting moment is that one. The moment where he's confronted with the man who murdered his mother and he chooses to take his life. Where was that moment on screen? We hear about that moment, with him sitting next to Katie on the shores of fancy, pretty magical land. That's where we hear about that moment. Where else? Where is that visually, that powerful, the most powerful character development moment this character has, and we don't see it? This character lacks agency. He's just, what happens? Somebody comes to fight him to take his necklace. Well, he knows they're going to go take his sister's necklace, so he has to go warn her. That's the one thing he chooses to do. Goes to warn her, okay, and then they get kidnapped and brought to Dadland, and now they know that they're going to burn the village down, so they got to go try to find the village, and very conveniently are able to do so. And it's just there's no call to action. There's no... So here we get to the Matrix parallels that I promised you. Okay. First of all, in media res, if Shang-Chi starts, take out this 10-minute fucking hook, just drop us into the valet place, open the movie like it cuts to present day with douchebag me. I don't even want to see Sean doing push-ups and waking up in his fucking house. I don't want to know who he is. I want the movie to start with the fucking fancy car, pull up at the valet, and then, and we see the guy get out. It's not the guy actor I was promised, and now I see the actor I was promised getting tossed the valet keys. Oh, now I'm in the middle of things. Now I know who this guy is. I know what his life is about. I know what's up. Like Neo, like dropping into the middle of Neo falling asleep at his desk in the middle of work. We know he's this hacker guy. We know he's this computer guy. Oh, my computer's acting strange. Someone comes to the door to buy technology from him. Great, we're in the middle of it. But the hook is a little bit about, oh, the rabbit, and now we're off to the races on the thing. The hook in this, you could sprinkle something right in that opening scene. That fight could still be part of the opening scene. This movie could open with, okay, and so Awkwafina goes to take this car for a joyride. And then something comes up, maybe because of this postcard we're teased with. Maybe that comes up instead. Maybe that gets delivered to him during the fucking day. And it's like, oh, it's something about my sister. Your sister. I didn't even know you had a sister. Oh, and he's cagey about his past. He doesn't want to talk about it. But we've been friends for 10 years, but you don't want to talk about it. Okay, well, now we know. Now we know there's this cagey stuff about you haven't talked about. Already, it's like, you can build all this stuff in here without stopping and giving us 10 minutes of exposition, telling the audience before you tell the characters. Tell the characters. Let the audience be the characters at the same time. Fucking tell us all together. You know? You drop into Neo's world like that, we don't get the explanation of what the fuck the Matrix is until the turn into the second act. We've already gone through Neo getting chased, targeted by the agents, the bug put in him, going to meeting Trinity, meeting Morpheus, finding all this shit, getting debugged, getting sucked out of the Matrix. He gets sucked out of the Matrix well before we even learn what it is. We go through a whole montage of him, welcome to the real world, Neo. Why do my eyes hurt? You're using them for the first, all these little bits. Those are the questions that we're being given, not with exposition, with action. And so when we finally stop for a second at the end of the first act and Morpheus brings them into the loading program and explains what the fuck is going on, we are there for it. We're like, thank you for telling me the fuck is going on, because I had no idea. And I was on board with the story because it was very exciting and very interesting. But now I'm ready to sit down for a second and catch my breath and be told what I just saw, as opposed to being told a bunch of shit, being shown a bunch of different shit, and then not have any of this stuff answered until we all get together in the turn into 3 to just talk it all the fuck out, and then be shown a whole bunch of completely new shit during Act 3, which is what happens in this movie. This whole point of the bad guy, like, fuck, it could be a reveal that this guy is their dad in the first place. Like, why was that told to us from the beginning? That would have been a great reveal to fucking hang on to for a hot minute. That, oh, this guy's coming after our mom, and oh, it turns out it's dad. That's like, could be the reveal in Act 1 and 2. I don't know. Like, there's ways to do this. So, and again, the growth of the characters. This character has learned everything he needs to know beforehand. We have something not unlike Neo, though. I know Kung Fu. Great, he gets downloaded Kung Fu. Just like Sean has learned all of his Kung Fu before the movie. This is a good thing, by the way. This is a very good thing, because these mass level experts, these I can literally defy physics with my body, experts at Kung Fu in these heightened reality action movies, need to have a reason why they're this good at it that can't be encapsulated in the time that we're watching the film. In the case of Sean, he trained since he was a boy. Okay, we watch him bloody his knuckles. These are the flashbacks I'm okay with. But also don't need the flashback, because again, you could just take this with, well, my dad trained us to be killing wet machines, okay? And you could show me 2 seconds of you fighting that like fucking crazy face ninja guy. That's fine, okay, I can live with that. And that's about it. That's like the level of the montage where we're downloading all this shit into Neo's brain and I know Kung Fu. That's all I need. That amount to justify why you're fast like a freak, why you know all this fucking Kung Fu shit. That's great. Now let's get to the growth. Sean already knows everything he needs to know to win the day, to defeat all the bad guys. He has learned all of that before the movie even starts. Neo's whole journey is predicated on him believing he's the one. It's belief. That's why it's so powerful. It's not, are you the chosen one? Like, you're the chosen one, so go be the chosen one. This is a movie. Shang-Chi is a movie about why Sean is the chosen one, why he's always been the chosen one, why he was always going to be the chosen one, and when his time was come, he was going to rise to the occasion and be fucking chosen like he was always fucking meant to. So it didn't really matter that he spent the past 10 years fucking off with his life doing literally nothing, because it's fine, he's chosen. So when the call call comes, he'll just rise up to it and be there. Whereas Neo's entire arc is predicated on the fact that he has to believe that he is not chosen. So he has the agency to make the decisions to become the chosen one. That's why his character is powerful. And that's the growth we watch him have. We watch him struggle with believing in himself. Sean doesn't struggle to believe in himself because he knows what he is. He already knows. He's been running away from it his whole life. It's not about believing it. There's no moment where he has to accept the call to action because he's not really running away. He's not running away from protecting his mom's home, which is what he has to do, what he's called to do. His only thing he's running away from is being his father's son, which he never really has to confront because his dad just kind of becomes a good guy again before it's too late. Which, by the way, is one of the other flimsy things in this movie for me. It's like, I get it. Okay, you fell in love because you met your match, blah, 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 blah. But, like, why did she fall in love with him? He's like a bastard. He's a complete total bastard. What did she see in him in the first place? This fucking psychopathic mass murderer, power-hungry fucking nut job? What did she see in him? Because clearly it wasn't that much. If the second her ass died, he was right back to being the exact same fucking guy. So he's... As a motivating factor for these kids to want to be better, or for him to want to be better, or this, or want to have that reconciliation, or blah, it's very flimsy because this guy just isn't, he's unrepentantly a bad guy pretty much the whole movie. Except for the very, very fucking end when he does the noble sacrifice, but it's not really justified because he's gonna die anyway. So it's like you're either gonna die for nothing, or you're gonna die sacrificing yourself for your son. So great, like, good job picking the lesser, like the easy choice there, Broska Bibble. I am not that fucking impressed. So in order to get the power to do this all along, all Sean has to do is remember that when he was a baby back before, it's like fucking Captain Marvel's greatest barrier is her memory, is that she can't remember things. Fucking there we go with Sean again. He can't remember, but once he remembers that his mom literally taught him everything he needed to know, because he goes to his aunt and he's like, teach me how to do this stuff, and she's like, okay, I can't really teach you in a day, but like, here's kind of the stuff. And then she's like, you just know. And he's like, I do know. I just remembered that I knew all along. There we go. Where's the growth? Where's the arc? The thing is, we see him be able to beat just about anybody by applying himself a little bit. And it's like, okay, you're rusty, but even rusty, you can still beat most people. We don't really watch you lose to your dad. Like, we watch him beat you up one time, but like, okay, it's not like this whole thing. It's not like this whole ongoing journey that you can never beat your dad and then one day you figured out how to. It's just that nobody could beat your dad. Literally nobody could except for your mom. You never fucking tried, but now that you did, it turns out you had your mom's secrets all along. So there you go. You had all the answers. You had the answers the whole time. You didn't need anybody. Whereas you go to, The Matrix, Neo, fucking has none of the answers. He's dropped in the middle of the shit. He doesn't even know he's the fucking chosen one. He doesn't fucking believe he's special until it comes right down to the fucking wire. At which point, he then gains the abilities. We watch him fail. We watch Morpheus beat him until he helps him expand his perspective and break the laws of physics. Oh my God. And then he gets his closest to Mary Sue moment, honestly, as Neo, where he beats Morpheus on the first try. Cool. First try. Good for you. But it still took work. It still took training. It still took a scene of growth, a scene of Morpheus teaching and imparting lessons upon him. And then immediately after that, we watch him fail at the jump. We watch him fail at something immediately because he's not all that. Being the one is not about you just have it, you just know it, you can just do everything. And this movie consistently reinforces that that's the message. Being the one is not about just having it all and being the best and being the greatest and being special and talented. Being the one is about having the faith, having the belief, being that guy. And so yeah, Shang-Chi gets there eventually because Sean rises to the occasion and it becomes that guy. But he's never really not though. He's never really shown to fail at that or to have trouble getting there, to struggle to be that guy. The second he's needed to be, he is, bam, done, full stop. And then you get to that point too, your Neo, I can stop bullets moment, right? Not only this, right? You one up what and you planted this in the beginning of the fucking movie. Are you saying I'll be able to dodge bullets? I'm saying when the time comes, you won't have to. And so And we pay off both of those things. We pay off the moment where he is now at the point where he can dodge bullets. Wow, that's a big step up in his learning. And now he's beginning to believe enough that when he finally hits that true belief, he can do fucking when he truly believes, he has to fucking die and have true love whispered in his ear. It's literally like fairy tale true love's kiss level, has to bring him back to where he can actually do the thing he needs to do to win. Flip over to Shang-Chi. I already have a problem with the fact that the boss fight creature isn't even referenced until the beginning of the third act. We should be building towards this. This creature should be somehow, we should be, if we're flashing to anything, we should be flashing over to this village, trying to figure out how the critters are getting out again and what they have to do to protect themselves. They should be the ones, the mom, the spirit of the mom should be the one reaching out to her kids to be like, you have to come protect my fucking village, because these evil bad guys seducing, your dad into wanting to kill us all. Like, that bad guy should have been planted from the beginning, because he's the boss fight. Why is he the boss fight if he's not the main bad guy from the beginning? The dad's the main bad guy from the beginning. We get to the boss fight, the dad's just dead, and he's not even the enemy anymore. The bad guys who were fighting are just teamed up now to fight the bigger bad guy, and all it fucking takes is a well-placed arrow from your best friend and a little bit of teamwork, and that's it. Like, you didn't even need, because he already perfects the art of the rings to beat his dad. Now he's the master of the rings, and so to beat this big creature, all he needed was, to make sure, like, literally he didn't even need to be more powerful. He just needed to make sure that the creature couldn't kill the dragon, thereby getting too much power, because it kills things and eats their souls and gets more power that way. And if it got the soul of the dragon, it would become unstoppable. So it wasn't even that Sean needed to do something or learn something or accomplish that last step. He was already there to defeat the creature. No, he was good. He just needed somebody to come in and distract the creature so the dragon could get away, so that he could do his magical thing and do that. So see how the stakes, like, there's not this like stakes of, oh my God, you have to believe you're the one or you're all gonna fucking die, because the Nebuchadnezzar is being torn apart by the creatures at the last fucking second, and you gotta fucking actually buck up, man. Now's the moment or it's all over. There's no sense of urgency like that. There's just like, all right, well, how's the dragon gonna get away so you can do this? Oh, well, I guess Awkwafina's gonna have to do it because she learned how to shoot arrows literally yesterday and is now great at it, and it can shoot an arrow through this dragon creature's neck, even though we don't know why. We know she's really good at driving because we saw that from the get-go. She loves that, and we got to see that paid off in the story, by the way, which was a good choice. Let's pay that off. Let's pay Awkwafina's great driving skills off by showing her do precision driving through this crazy windy path through the forest to get where we need to go. Great, good job. You showed us she's a good driver. You paid it off by having her drive the bus. You paid her off by having her do that. Why not pay it off by having her do something driving related in the climax? Or if shooting this arrow was going to be this important part of her character, why not, I don't know, throw in a little detail. She was going to be an Olympic archer, and then she just missed the trials, and instead of reapplying herself and trying to make it the next year, she just gave up. And that's why, and so she's running away from that, and that's why she went to do the valet stuff, to drive cars fast instead and distract herself from her true talent, her true gift, blah, 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 which then comes back full circle at the end of the movie. Oh my God, she remembers how great she is at this, boom, and then there, and now, oh great, you have another Hawkeye 0.0, you have another Archer character, which clearly they want to go for anyway, but now it's justified as to why she's such a fucking great Archer. So, bam, there, easy little things. You look at a movie like The Matrix, it justifies why all the characters are where they are, and it uses those characters to tell us things, to sprinkle us little moments, to drop us in the story, to drop us in the middle of the story, to get us asking those questions. So when the story needs to stop and answer the questions, we're ready for it. We're not being constantly bombarded with information, exposition, this, that, the other. Let me tell you the backstory. Let me tell you this stuff you're supposed to know so that we can then make you not worry about it until it's important later. And then, oh, by the way, remember we told you about this, so now you're supposed to care. Fuck, when you get to the end of The Matrix, even now, after all the times I've seen it, I am wrapped up in that movie, in every action sequence, even in the fucking opener, the fucking hook, where misspoke earlier saying that we start, with Neo at his computer. We start with Trinity, having to get out of the Matrix and all this shit. This fucking baller-ass fucking hook in the movie, it's like, it's completely lost my train of thought where I was going with that. Yeah, you're in it. You're just in the movie. You're in the Matrix. You're in them now. You're in the agent coming after these guys. You're in, oh my God, it's an agent, and like what that means and all of this stuff. You're just in it. You're not like, here, let's explain to you 8 million things. You're just in the movie. Oh yeah, that's what I was saying. That fucking hook. I know how it ends every fucking time. I know Trinity gets away every goddamn time. And I've seen that opening so many times. And I'm at the edge of my seat every time she runs into that phone book with the truck coming. Every fucking time. And in Shang-Chi, I'm sitting there at the end of the movie watching them hanging on the dragons and then fighting with the sister and all this shit, going, this looks really great. This is beautiful. This was a good movie. But man, when Neo gets up from being, when everyone thinks the agents think he's dead, and then stops the bullets and, oh God, I'm like amped up. Sitting on my couch a few days ago, I'm fucking amped for it. Yesterday in the movie theater, I'm sitting there watching this movie going, I wonder why I'm not amped for this like I was for that. And that's when this video started. That's when this all started in my mind of realizing where they went wrong. And that's why I gotta say, this movie at its core is a fun watch. It sets up some good characters that I'm gonna enjoy, carrying through the future of Marvel, because I'll probably still continue watching. But at its core, at a fundamental movie storytelling level, this movie sucks. It falls apart like so many other movies do right now because they cannot figure out good storytelling. They cannot figure out how to make each element of the story mean something, how to use film as a visual medium to actually craft a narrative that doesn't rely on your characters just sitting there fucking telling you the things that they need you to know. And that's why this movie sucks. So go see it if you want. It's good. It's fun. You're not going to be disappointed. I say it's good and it sucks. It's a great movie. It's not a great movie. It's a fun watch. That's not a good movie. It's a fun movie to watch. It's very, very enjoyable. At its core element, it falls apart as a piece of cinema, which is not a problem for what it is. It's fun. Go have fun. Go enjoy it. But Christ, I'm not even talking classic Matrix level. You want to take another parallel? Just stop for a second. It'll be another half an hour. Otherwise, I'd do it. And hold it up next to Iron Man. And this, you'll find that the same criticisms are true. The same issues, the same problems are true when you hold it up to the last time Marvel set out to introduce you to a superhero that could carry the franchise on its shoulders. So just think about that. Thank you for watching this. Make sure you just click on my link tree and it'll take you to all my links. And then click on these videos and then go to that Indiegogo place and sign up for that mailing list, because I'm getting ready to start a fencing club, which has nothing to do with a lot of the stuff I talk about on here, except that I'll have a fencing club, which means a physical location where I can do things like meetups, movie nights, shoot awesome things, that sort of stuff. Anyway, that's all for now, but don't ever forget that practice makes wrong. And until next time, make sure you download 17 Live and watch me there, because I'm live there all the time and not on here because fuck YouTube, it sucks. Anyway, that's all for now. Practice makes wrong, and God Empress out.